Hi guys, and welcome to my new video. Today I'm going to show you how I use Neocolor II and a full mixed media process and share with you some tips and tricks. Stay tuned until the end to see some bonus sketchbook spreads. I really love these crayons because they are so versatile and I use them a lot drawing on location. But because they are waxed based, it can be tricky when you use it in mixed media. Let's see how different pencils work on top of them. To test this, I made a few swatches with both dry and watered down layers. And I'm using Caran d'Ache Museum Aquarelle, Caran d'Ache Luminance and Derwent drawing pencils. You can see that it's really hard to draw on top of the waxy layer, but it definitely works better if the crayons were mixed with water. Anyway, it doesn't always work perfectly as it depends on the thickness of the Neocolor layer. For the last test, I took Derwent Inktense and dipped the lid into the water. And again, it works a bit better, but not perfect. Because it's hard to lay on top of them, I prefer to mix them with water for the base layer or use them at the very end for textures and details, especially when drawing on location. But when I'm in my studio, I could use a fixative. So let's see how pencils work on the fixed layers. I put just one layer of the simple matte fixative that I got from the local art shop. A few things to keep in mind after using a fixative. If you press too hard on the pencil, you could scratch out even the fixed layer. And the second thing I'd like to mention, that water-based paints could be harder to apply because it creates a water-resistant layer. So it is better to plan the layers in advance. For example, this sketch didn't go well and I wanted to cover it, but it has a thick layer of Neocolors on top, so after fixing it, I used both acrylic gouache and Kuretake watercolors, and it created beautiful textures. And now let's jump into the mixed media process. I started with a light sketch, and for the underpainting, I'm using Neocolor shavings and just activating them with water. I have those from my previous process video where I showed Neocolor II limited edition sets. If you haven't watched it, check it out. You can find the link in the description. I need this first layer to block in the main values and set the color mode without worrying about the details. For the darker areas, I'm going in with a deep blue-gray from the Kuretake watercolor set to add a bit more depth. Once that layer is dry, I switch to Holbein acrylic gouache and start building up the shapes, slowly refining the contrast. That will help to bring more structure. This illustration is based on my older work that I made for the Folktale Week. I think the prompt was lost, and I came up with this moth girl who has lost her dear friend. And the giant face on top of the illustration is actually a forest witch that is helping the girl by guiding her. Even though it is based on my older work, but I do really love the series I've made for that folktale week, so I could probably make a story from that. For the next layer, I'm using colored pencils and Neocolors to add texture and small details. One thing I really like about Neocolors is how nicely they sit on top of everything. You can use them dry, blend them, or reactivate them again with water. And because I'm working over acrylic gouache, the layer underneath doesn't move, which makes the whole process feel a lot more forgiving. You could see me slightly changing the composition or some details on the go, and that's because it's easier to see what works better when the values are more defined. Or it might also come from my digital process where I got used to being able to change things on any stage. And of course, working with traditional media requires a bit more planning. To make the colors pop, I am adding a bit of warm highlights on the background. I'll be honest, the face didn't work well, so I had to redraw it a couple of times. This is just a reminder that things do not always work, and that's absolutely okay. Some final details and a bit of flame red. Love this color. And yeah, this is how it turned out. I'm really happy with the result. You could see how I use the Neocolors throughout the process. And I think my favorite part is adding the details or pops of colors at the end. And yeah, I love this material, and I always keep at least a few crayons in my pencil case for observational drawings. At the end, I would also like to show you some of my sketchbook spreads. Here I use it to add the textures. And for a very long time I've been using it to block big shapes of colors before I made myself a portable set of gouache. And a bonus tip: if you have a box from a small set of any Neocolors, it actually perfectly works for making a portable set of paints. You can fit in Acrylic watercolors, large and small pans of gouache, anything that you usually use. If you want to fix them in the box, you will need magnetic tape or squares with a sticky layer. You could easily find them on Amazon. And look, it works perfectly. That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!